One thing I wish people had told me earlier in life is how important, even as a young person, it was going to be to have a high credit score and to have credit established. This affects so much more than I realized as a young adult. Not only does it affect things that are initial on the surface, like can you buy a house, can you rent a place to live, can you purchase a vehicle, it also heavily affects your employment. If you're going into business or if you're going into finance, a lot of those companies are going to be looking at credit. And if you have a bad credit score, this can really run you into a very bad place when it comes to all kinds of problems that you're going to run into in life. If your rent gets hiked where you live right now and you have to move and you have a bad credit score, most places are going to turn you down. If your car transmission goes out on the way home from work or school today and you quickly got to go get another car, you're going to get absolutely ripped at the dealership for 17, 18+% if you don't have a 500+ credit score. So this can really just put you in a terrible spot. And I heavily tell you that it's set up that once you have a good credit score, you have to do everything possible to keep it. And the ways that you can build credit initially, if you don't have credit, is just get whatever basic credit card you can. Now, I will tell you, I'll throw myself under the bus here. I'll put myself out. So due to some, life circumstances several years ago, I didn't have great credit. So what I had to do is I had to start from a very low credit score, and I did a bunch of research on YouTube on how to figure out, what can I do to, just watched a ton of videos. What can I do to build my credit up? So the first thing that I did is they recommended that I get 3 credit cards, and, none of these have good interest rates. And what I did is they said, use one for your gas. And as soon as it bills, have it on your phone. As soon as it bills, so you got gas today, tomorrow, once it's on there and you can actually pay for it, pay it off the next day. Then they said, use one for your groceries and charge it. And then the very next day, pay it completely off. And then use one more right there for your lunch every day, or something that you have a regular bill on, your cell phone bill, and pay it with the credit card. And then the next day, pay it off. Don't ever let it stack up and get behind on you. Don't think of these as emergency credit cards to be able to use to cover your expenses. Think of them strictly as these 3 cards to build your credit. And as soon as you put something on that credit card, pay it off the second that it shows up on your phone the next day. And I just did this for a year. And in a year, my credit score went up 123 points. So then when I needed a new vehicle, I was able to go and get it, and I set it up. And again, you're going to do things and make sure you don't miss a single payment, that not a single payment is late on anything that affects your credit. So then with my vehicle, when I bought a used car, I put it on automatic payment 4 days before the due date. So it just automatically comes out of my account and it gets paid. So in another year and a half now, in addition to having those 3 credit cards and being able to pay my car payment on time every month now for a year and a half, now in total, in 2.5 years of doing this, now my credit has gone up over 300 points, and I'm at the point now where it's a really good score. I'm in the low 700s, but I want to get it all the way up past 800, but it's going to take some time and not making mistakes. And at the point that you get over 725, over 730, it starts to level off until some other factors come in, and actually paying things off can drop it. And there's all kinds of weird little kind of games that you have to play with it. But the point is, I was able to go from a very poor credit score to over a 700 credit score in only 2.5 years of just consistently working on never missing payments, having 3 credit cards, again, not great interest rates on them, but I never even let the interest hit. I pay things with them, I pay it off the next day, and then having my vehicle bill on it all the time. Now, there's all kinds of other little things that you can start to do on this. Once your credit starts to build and get good, you need to be able to move to other cards that are better, that have lower interest and build you more points. And then you start to go, okay, if I use this card, which gives me this % back on gas, then I'm always going to use this for my gas, or I'm always going to use this on my groceries, or I'm always going to use this on my travel. And then you start getting into the points game and the percentage game back, and those can really help you. If you just use the points for cash back. After that first year and a half of having those 3 cards on cash back, I had about $150 cash back. I used it. I put it back onto my card and used it for other things. So you can absolutely use this to your benefit and grow your credit. But when emergency things come up, as they do for every single one of us, you can go ahead and move when you need to and be able to qualify for stuff. You can go ahead and get a new or a replacement vehicle if you need to when you have to. It's not going to affect you going in for jobs. And, you know, life is difficult enough right now in 2024 with this economy and this inflation without it being like, oh, my rent got hiked and I've got to move, and then you can't move because you don't have the credit to move where you need to, or you don't to move out of your parents' house, or to get out of a bad living situation if you're in it. If you and a partner, or you and a roommate, or you and anybody else, and you can't move to your next place, that's very debilitating position to be in as a human being. Or if heaven forbid something happens to your vehicle and it's not an accident, the car just, you know, craps out on you, you're going to be in a position where then you can make that move and take care of things and not have to worry about it. And it's a much better position to be in. So I'll share that with you. Credit score from the minute that you're starting off is super important. And if you're under 18, or if you have abysmal, can't get credit, whatever has happened, you can either go through a credit repair agency, or if you know somebody that is close to you, a family or friend that is extremely responsible with their money and with their credit, they can add you onto their card as an authorized user. And then every month when they make their payments on time, then it's going to show up that you're also having good credit. And parents, you can do this for your children as well. I'll make another video about that separately, but do everything that you can and take your credit score seriously, because it'll affect a lot of things in your life, guys.